What's up?
Oh, I got one for you.
What's wrong with it?
It's a 17 Wrangler. They replaced 3 starters and 2 batteries. Every time they replace it, the car seems good for about a month. Then it'll start acting up again to where it's not starting.
Yeah, that's not the problem. Alright, I get it when I get there. Okay.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. Here's this Wrangler right here. I got that call back. Y'all heard some of that conversation. 3 freaking starters, guys. Now, before I do anything, guys, I want to check the heart and soul of any car's electrical system. Alright? And hopefully, the guys that put these 3 starters on did the exact same freaking way to freaking... I'm almost about to cuss. Are you freaking serious? Look at this, guys. You got a freaking screw in here. And look at this. Oh, my goodness. 3 starters, and the problem is likely this connection. Look at this. Cousin Pookie, you sucks. I'm back out here at this tow-in lot with this Wrangler. She called the customer back, and the customer said, fix it, all right? They tired of playing around with Cousin Pookie. I did not know they replaced the battery as well. So we got a brand new battery and a starter, still clicks and no start. Actually, it stopped working over time. So I don't know what that's all about, but me, I don't play those games. Where we're gonna start at, I'm gonna get rid of this screw and try to, look, if you take a real good close look at this terminal, it's not totally all the way on the battery terminal. So we gotta make that repair connection on point, and then we're gonna see what happens, man. Let's get it. All right, guys, y'all see what I just done? I don't advise that. Please don't do that, but I want to make sure this thing will start. So let me go in right now and see if it freaking cranks up. Ah! What's my name? I'm a bad... Oh, shut your mouth, boy. Hey guys, real quick, y'all see what I got here? 8 HP transmission fluid service. This is the pan. The filter is integrated with the pan. All right, got some nuts and bolts right there. All right, fluid, 6 quarts, maybe. Who knows how much I need. That is why I'm doing this, guys. Get a load of this. Yes, I'm draining the fluid. You should drain it anyway if you're getting ready to replace it and you got a drain plug. Right. But I'm doing a unique thing here. I'm capturing the fluid, right? I got a bucket right here. I want to know exactly how much come out. That is so I can go back in with that very same amount, guys. Here's the thinking. Look around this transmission. If you don't see any signs of leak, one could assume it is still full from the factory at birth. All right, so yes, that was the case in this case. There was no signs of leak, so I'm assuming it's still full. So I'm going to go back in with the exact same amount that I get in this jug. All right, now all you guys that believe in this a feel for life transmission, you're doing yourself a disservice, man. And the fact that it's real easy to do. Oh my goodness, look how easy this is. Service your transmission. Alright guys, this is ZF 8 HP transmission found in the Dodge Challenger rear-wheel drive vehicle. Nothing to it, nothing special about it. I don't know why the world is panicking over feel for life. Guys, this is simple to remove your pan and essentially replace your pan because the filter is integrated. Now, look at the condition of that fluid. This car has 120,000 miles. You telling me you guys are out there willing to leave this in your transmission for the remaining of its life? This is not feel for life, guys. That filter, you see how trashy that filter is? There's a good picture of that filter. That is called contamination, guys. That contamination comes from normal wear and tear in a transmission. Okay, the torque converter is coming apart over time. Over time, everything in this transmission will wear. So that debris has to go somewhere. It will eventually end up in your transmission filter, guys. You need to replace this. ZF said every 60,000 miles. I go a good 80 and it should be good. But look at that. Service your transmission, guys, in order to make your transmission last long. Alrighty, guys, I'm getting ready to put this hub bearing on, this brand new hub bearing. But riddle me this, guys, all you super techs out there, riddle me this, get this, all right? Everybody recognize this. This is the ABS wheel speed sensor, right? It goes in from the back to the knuckle, and obviously it reads a wheel on the hub bearing. So here's my hub bearing right here, all right? I'm getting ready to put this on, but guys, remember, this is an 8 HP transmission, so there is no transmission, or there is no wheel speed sensors on this transmission. The TCM needs to know how fast every wheel is turning, and it does that by way of this wheel speed sensor. So it gets that information from the ABS. So if this hub bearing sits in here and this wheel is turning, look, this part here is not turning. So remember, it has to detect how fast this wheel is rotating. All right, so this is stationary on here. So riddle me again, what is going on here? Here's the wheel turning, but this is not turning, but the ABS sensor is reading this. All right, who got some answers out there? Let's hear it. Real quick. So I was reading the comments on what you guys were saying. Remember that I asked y'all to riddle me this. How is the speed sensor able to read the speed of the wheel if there's a cover right here? All right, a lot of y'all spoke about the magnetic tone wheel is inside of here. One guy suggested I remove the cover, so I did just that. Let me see something. Yeah, I got the cover off. Now, the reason you don't see the wheel moving or the hub moving because this cover was on here, but obviously this is some type of magnetic tone wheel, and it could penetrate through the cover. Right, so if this hub was turning, guys, so is this right here. All right, so that's exactly what the speed sensor is reading. Y'all see that? Yeah, that is exactly what the speed sensor reading. That's what the speed sensor needs to report back to the TCM as well as the ABS module. All right, so it's just shielded by this cover, I guess, with dirt and trash. Hey guys, so y'all see this? This is my 2009 Caravan that I'm driving to school tomorrow. So I need to load up on gas, right, on fuel, right? Y'all see this? I'm up to $49 right now. That's 17 gallons worth of fuel. This is what you should not do. I'm gonna abuse my own car just to get my point across. Y'all see this? Put more. See that? It's counting. All right, it stopped already. Y'all see that? It stopped again. Y'all see that? Fuel coming out there. Guys, don't do this. Don't. See how it's stopping on its own? That's because it's fuel. All right? What you're doing is introducing liquid fuel inside your vapor canister. All right? Your charcoal canister. You do not want that. Now, this is my own car. I would not do this demonstration on a customer car. I just wanted to get my point across. When it do this, look, take it even more. When it click, just stop. All right? Damn. Whoa, guys, what y'all think? Blown head gasket? Ooh, if you smell it, it smell like blown. It smell like it's burning water, guys. I don't want him to think I'm filming him, but yeah, you need more than gas, but that is water. I can smell it, guys. That smell like yeah, he's burning water. He needs some he need a head gasket. Not head gasket. I don't do head gasket myself. What am I talking about? But that's one of those where you're getting exhaust gases in the cooling system. All right, now what that would lead to is like white smoke, so to speak. That's air. I know this dude. Hey man, what's wrong with that? What's all that? Huh? I know it's smoking. What you think gas gonna do? Stop it from smoking? He come to get some gas. Well, what's causing that?
She probably overheated this.
It is overheated. And that's aluminum cylinder head? Mm-hmm. I guarantee you that head warped.
I guarantee it is.
Ford Focus?
Fuck us.
You pulling up here, you got like a mosquito truck.